Hello everyone, we will continue the topic smart forms, and in the previous videos we started with the concept of command. The purpose of command is to achieve the page break, or we can trigger the page break. We will give a command which will help us to trigger the page break. And as a part of that, we developed the driver program, we developed the smart form, and we integrated, means we called the smart form from the driver program. I'll just pass the right name. The right name is ZSF underscore demo underscore command. Now we will further continue that topic. So firstly, what I will do, we will simply run this particular program. We will check the output. Then we will discuss what we need to do based upon our requirement. So firstly, I will put a breakpoint into the driver program, and I will give the input to the program. I will change this particular label. So I will go for go to text elements, selection text, and I will choose DDIC reference. This is coming from the data element. Now I will run this program. I will go for some date range. I will check in the VBAK table. I will display this table. I will go to contents. I'll just execute and we will go for some date range. Suppose I will go for 272023 to 372023. 02072023. You can take test data based upon your system. If I will go for number of entries, okay, we have 21. We can go to OS. We'll go for 2nd July 2023 to 3rd July 2023. I will execute. Desktop 3, most preferable desktop. Now, based upon the input, we will fetch the data from VBAK table. Now we have 21 records. Now, this function module will return the function module of the smartphone. I'm doing F6 to execute this function module, and this is the function module of the smartphone. You can run the smartphone independently and check also. Suppose if I'm executing the smartphone independently, yes, 340. We have 340. Now we are calling this function module, and we are passing that data to the smartphone. Yes, here it is exporting. It means in the smartphone, it will treat as importing. I will go for execute. I will put that device and I will go for print preview. And you can see we have the 21 records in the output. This is your main window. These are the labels. We gave 4 labels, and these are the 4 column data. This is simple output, but customer is saying on a page, I want only 10 records. If the records are increasing, that data should display to next page. If the record are increasing, it should display to next page. And this is all about real projects. In the real projects, yes, customer asks these kind of requirement. On a particular page, display only 50 records. On a particular page, display only 25 records. Rest record should display onto the next page. So in that case, we need to use the command. Command is used to trigger the page break. So I will go for the smart form, and based upon our requirement, we will go for the command. So I will go for our smart form. I'll just close the other things. Now I will open our smart form. I'll just go to back button, and this is our smartphone. most important things will come. Because of small mistakes, we will not get the expected output. Firstly, this is the page and we have only the main window. We are not going for any other thing. We have only the main window, and in the main window, we have that table, and in that table, we have header, main area, and the footer. So firstly, what we did, we simply applied the loop on this table and we are displaying the data. Now just understand the requirement now. This data, nothing needs to be done with the header, yes. This data should split onto the next page if the number of records are increasing. Where we are displaying this data into the main area, this data is the part of the main area. It means this particular loop which we applied onto the whole table, this loop should be onto the main area because we want to split the data which is in the main area. So I will simply apply a loop on the main area. I will write the logic. If number of records are increasing more than 10 on a page, we will simply call the next page through the command. So firstly, what I will do, I will create a loop on the main area. This is not required. Previously, I showed you the output in which we are not restricting. We are not going for restricting the data that on a particular page, these many records will display. Now we want to restrict the data on a particular page. So I will not apply the loop on the table. I will apply the loop on the main area because I want to restrict the data of the main area. So I will simply deselect this checkbox. And same thing I will apply on the main area. And here you will learn also how to create a loop, So I will simply go for the right click on the main area. I will go for create flow logic loop. I will go for loop onto the main area. And yes, loop is necessary because you have so many records. How this particular records will display, you need to apply a loop. Now I will simply pass the name of the internal table. What is the name of internal table? LD underscore VBAK. And we have the work area LWA underscore VBAK. We applied a loop onto the main area, this particular data, yes. Now I will create a command. What the purpose of the command? Whenever we will get the records more than 10, we will simply give a command to the system that the data should shift to the next page. Now, the biggest mistake which people will do here, and because of that, output will not come. They will create the command in the main area. We are not creating the command in the main area. The command needs to be the part of loop because in the loop, yes, we have that data, yes, because loop will continue and data will display. It means command should be the part of loop itself. In the loop, we need to give a command that data should shift to the next page. This is the first most common mistake people will do, and because of that, output will not come. So first, please take care. The command is not the part of main area. Command is the part of loop because ultimately in the loop itself, we are doing each and everything. So I will right click on the loop and I will go for create and I will simply go for command. So in this topic itself, you studied how to create a loop and now we will go for command. I will go for command. Now you can see This command is the part of loop, itself. Yes. Now I will simply select this particular checkbox, go to new page. Yes. Now, what we want to do, in this case, we are going for only one page. It might be the case that you have a requirement to create next page. It is totally your wish. It depends upon the requirement. Now you all know, in this case, we are going for a single page. We are going for single page. And what is the next page for that? Same page is acting as next page also. It might be the case that you have different layout on the next page. Then in that case, you can create a next page, and here in the command, rather than page 1, you can pass page 2. If you want more detailed understanding in which scenarios we are creating a new page, in the same playlist, you can refer creation of page, as because we have same layout on all the pages. We do not have a different layout on the first page and next page. So we are only going for one page, and that page is acting as next page also. So in the command, we will simply pass that as a new page also. If you are going for creation of a new page, so you can simply pass here page 2 will come, and you can select the page 2 if you are going for that. Yes. Now, as of now, I will not give the condition. Firstly, I will write the logic, and then we will go for condition, because your command will trigger to the next page. It will take us to the next page, and page 1 is our next page itself, but it should be based upon some condition. What is the condition? When number of records on a page is 10, and after that, if we have that data, it should go to next page. It means in this condition tab, we will give the condition. But firstly, we will write the logic, and then I will provide the condition. Now, next important point. Have you seen, as of now, this is a independent entity. This is the part of your main area. This particular data which we are displaying, it is a part of main area. Now, it is not the part of main area. It needs to be the part of command. Now, just see how it is going, how the requirement is. We are creating a loop. In the loop itself, we have the command, and in the command itself, we are displaying that data. So what you can do in that case, just simply drag and drop, because people will take it as an independent entity. So it will not work, because in that case, what will happen? System will firstly finish the loop, then system will come on to this part. This is not our requirement. In the loop itself, it should go to the next page. It should display that data. It means this particular part should be the part of your command. So just drag and drop and put into the command. And it will say, now it is saying row is inserted. So it is the part of your command. And you can check by this also. Whenever you will simply collapse this, have you seen all things are the part of loop? Main area is separate. Now everything is a part of your loop. So just take care of this point. Otherwise, you will not get the output, because just understand what is our requirement. We need to put a loop on the main area. Whatever the data is, we should give a command to go to the next page. And yes, now we will write and whatever the data is displaying, it should be the part of loop only, because ultimately data should go to next page. Now we will write the logic. So what is our logic? It will display first record, second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. Whenever count will reach 10, we will simply give a command to display that data onto the next page. So how we will write the logic? I will simply go for a cell. I will right click on the cell because I need to write the logic. So I will write create flow logic program line. You all know we can write the logic through program lines. Yes, in the initialization, we have an option to write the logic. But whatever you are writing in initialization, it will be accessible throughout the Smartform. But now our requirement is we need to calculate the number of rows here. So we will simply create a program line here and we can write the logic. Now people will say, can I write the logic in by right clicking onto this row and create a program line? See, on the row, there is no option of program line. So what you can do, you can simply right click onto the cell, create flow logic program lines. So now we have the program lines and we will write the logic. So what is the logic? Whenever we have the 10 records on a particular page, the system should go to the next page after that. It should display the data onto the next page. So how I will write the logic? I will simply take a counter, which will increase by 1. So I'm writing LV underscore counter is equal to LV underscore counter plus 1. Just think, whenever it will go for first record, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will reach up to 10. Now I will write the logic. I'm declaring a variable here itself. Suppose I'm writing data. Suppose LV underscore remainder. I will just write LV underscore REM type I. I am declaring a variable locally itself because it is required here. This LV counter I will declare in the global data because I need to use in the command S also after that. So I am writing LV underscore remainder type LV underscore REM type I. I am writing LV underscore REM is equal to LV underscore counter. I'm going for mode 10. You all know how mode work. Mode always give the remainder. What is the remainder? Suppose I'm going for firstly, what is the counter? 1 mode 10, nothing. 2 mode 10, 3 mode 10, 4 mode 10, 5 mode 10. Whenever 10 mode 10 will be there, what will be the remainder at that point of time? Remainder will be 0. So I will write if LV underscore REM is equal to 0. Whenever we have the remainder is equal to 0, I'm setting one flag to capital X. And else part, I'm clearing this flag. Do not forget to clear the flag, else it always remain X. I'm writing LV underscore flag is equal to space and if. Now just see in this particular logic, what is LV underscore flag? It will be your output. I will declare as of now, I have not declared. And what will be the input? LV underscore counter. Now LV counter is input, LV flag is output, and anyways LV underscore REM I declared locally itself. So whenever this particular logic will work, how it will work? 1 more 10, it is not 0. 2 more 10, 3 more 10, 4 more 10, up to 9 more 10, it is not 0. Whenever 10 more 10 will be there, what is LV underscore REM? It will be 0. It means 10 records are on a page. It will display that 10 records are on a page. And it will set this flag to capital X. Whenever it will set the flag to capital X, it will come into the loop. And yes, it will go for the next page and I will keep a condition. What is the condition? LV underscore flag is equal to capital X. Whenever we have the 10 records on a page, yes, it will set the flag to capital X. Command will trigger and it will shift the data to the next page is equal to X. Now I will declare, I will go to global data. What is our first variable? LV underscore counter, type I, and I will write LV underscore flag, type, suppose I will go for character 1. It is SAP data element itself. I will check the syntax and I will activate. So what is the summary of this particular video? Extremely important in the command topic, because if we will do small mistakes, we will not get the expected result. So firstly, I showed you the output in the debugging mode. This is the output, but we want 10 records on a particular page. So what we did, now our data, which this data we want to split onto the pages. So we put a loop on the main area. Now we are not putting a loop on the table. I simply deselected this. Now I created a loop into the main area. I created a command in the loop because everything needs to be the part of loop, because it should continue for the data, whatever the data is there. So I created the command and we have one page itself, and that is acting as next page also. So I selected that page. If you are going for creation of a new page, then you can pass page 2. Yes, it is totally your wish how the requirement is. Now I created a program line. In the program line, I have written the logic to use the mode. You all know mode always give the remainder. If the remainder is 0, I set the flag to capital X, else I simply clear the flag. This is your input, this is your output. This variable is declared locally, and I declare the variable this in the global definition. And we have simply passed the condition into the command, because page break is based upon a condition. So I pass the condition. Now in the next video, we will understand this whole in the debugging mode. So if some confusion is there, it will be automatically clear. But most important, especially this part, command needs to be the part of loop. Yes, it should be the part of loop, because we are going for everything inside that. So that's it in this video. Thank you.